Here's a detailed review of the Fluke FLK-Lens WIDE2 infrared wide-angle lens, based on my thorough research across the internet, aimed at helping you decide if it's genuinely worth buying. I'll start by asking, what exactly does this lens bring to the table, and is it really as capable as the specs suggest? This lens is designed by Fluke to attach to compatible Fluke thermal imagers, such as the TIX 500, TIX 520, TIX 560 series, and offers a wider field of view so you can inspect larger scenes from a closer distance. The key spec, a field of view of 46 degrees horizontal times 34 degrees vertical. In terms of build and features, what stands out? The lens uses germanium optics, which is common for infrared lenses, and supports a minimum focus distance of around 15 centimeters, approximately equals 6 in, for very close inspection tasks. It is designed as a smart lens accessory with no need for calibration after mounting, according to the datasheet. For users doing industrial inspections, heat mapping, building surveys, electrical panels, this gives you the flexibility to capture wide areas or tight spaces without stitching or moving far back. On the usability front, for someone using a Fluke thermal imager, this lens is quite practical. If you're in tight spaces, cramped electrical rooms, or want to inspect larger building facades more efficiently, the wider view means fewer image captures and quicker diagnostics. The minimum focal distance also helps when you cannot step back far. As the datasheet puts it, it's ideal for electrical and building inspections, in a tight space or viewing large scenes. Now, as a potential user, you'll ask, how well does it actually perform? From what I found, the field of view specs are consistent and reviewers mention it gives a noticeably wider scene without large distortion, assuming you attach it properly. For example, one spec listing confirms the 46 degrees times 34 degrees FOV and notes the 15 centimeters minimum focus. However, like all wide-angle attachments, recognition and spatial resolution at the edges may drop compared to the base lens. So if your task demands extremely fine thermal resolution at the periphery, you might notice some trade-off. Let's be honest though, no product is perfect. The FLK-Lens WIDE2 has a few limitations to consider. 1. It is an optional accessory, so you'll need to ensure compatibility with your exact Fluke imager model and possibly spend extra cost. 2. While the wide view is helpful, the smart lens nature means you're still limited by the base imager's detector resolution and optics. So you're just expanding field of view, not improving image sharpness beyond the base camera. 3rd, in very low ambient temperature situations or extreme IR scene contrast, the lens may introduce slightly more vignetting or require careful focus adjustment given the short minimum distance. And 4th, for very narrow or long-distance tasks, you might still prefer a telephoto or standard lens rather than the wide angle. So, is it worth the investment? For many users, yes, especially if you are using a Fluke-compatible IR imager in industrial inspections, HVAC, building envelope surveys, or electrical environments where space is limited or scene size is large. The value lies in its ability to reduce inspection time, capture more context in one frame, and flexibility in closer quarters. If your use case is purely long-distance, narrow target tasks, or you already have sufficient scene coverage with your existing lens, then maybe it's not essential. In conclusion, after researching it thoroughly across multiple sources, I believe the Fluke FLK-Lens WIDE2 infrared wide-angle lens is worth it for the right user. Someone who needs a wider field of view on a Fluke thermal imager for building, electrical or industrial inspections and values software-free lens swapping and close-distance flexibility. If you go in aware of its limitations, compatibility, slightly reduced periphery resolution, cost accessory, this lens adds meaningful capability to your thermal imaging toolkit. Click the link below for the best price.